Hello everybody! In today's lesson we are learning about order of operations. Are you ready? Let's get started. You might wonder what that means. Well, it's basically a set of rules to help us figure out which operation should do first when we have more than one in a question. And by operation we mean addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. I know what you're thinking. Why would I even need rules, and why can't I choose any operation that I want to use? Well, Let's have a look at this example and see how it could be solved differently if the order of operations didn't really matter. One way to look at this example is to say, well, I'm going to do addition first. So 3 plus 4 equals 7, and then I multiply 7 by 5, which gives me 35. So 35 is my answer. Now let's look at it in another way. You might say, actually, I'm going to do the multiplication first. So I have 4 times 5, which is 20, and then plus 3, which gives me the answer 23. So 23 is my answer. You see two different answers to the same question. How can I figure out which one is actually the right answer? We didn't make any mistakes with any of these, but how come I got two different answers? That's very confusing, isn't it? And that is when the order of operations come to the rescue. And it helps us decide the order in which we can do the operations to solve. And as I mentioned before, there is a set of rules that we could use to solve a problem which has more than one operation. There are different names for it, but they actually have the same order. And the one that we are going to use today is called BODMAS, and here is what they stand for. B stands for brackets. O stands for orders. D stands for division. M stands for multiplication. A stands for addition. And S stands for subtraction. So first of all, we do the operation that comes in brackets or parentheses, which are exactly the same thing, but we use different symbols for them. But for now, we'll just call them brackets and use their symbols. Brackets have these symbols that come in pairs. So if we have 5 plus 6, the answer is 11. Let's look at this problem, for example. Now, we know that the operation in the brackets come first, which in this case is 3 plus 6, which equals to 9. And then the next operation is 9 times 5, which equals to 45. And we know for sure that this is the correct answer, because we have followed the rules for the order of operations. But here is a tricky question. What if there is more than one brackets in the problem, like this one? Well, the good news is that it doesn't really matter which group of brackets you want to solve first. So you can go in any order for the brackets as long as you do everything in the brackets before any other operations. So I can say 5 times 6 equals 30, and then 9 take away 1 equals 8. Then I can do the next operation, which is add 30 and 8, which equals to 38. And I know for sure that this is the correct answer because I have followed the rule of operations to solve this. The next part of the order is called O for orders, which is like repeated multiplication. For example, instead of writing 3 times 3, you could write 3 to the power of 2, which is the number 3 that has been multiplied twice. And we call that little number order, or power, or exponent. So after we have done our brackets, then the order would become the next part to do. So if we have a problem like this, the first part to look at is the order or the exponent, which is 3 to the power of 2, and that is the same as 3 times 3, and the answer is 9. Then we do the next operation, which is multiply by 4, and that gives us 4 times 9, which equals to 36, and 36 is the answer. Now it's time to look at another tricky problem. Look at this one. Now, what do we need to do in this situation? How can we do the brackets first when an exponent is inside? The answer is that you always need to take care of the brackets, and you can do any operation in it to simplify it. So you do the power of 2 first, which is 4 times 4, which equals 16. And then multiply that answer by 6, which gives us 96. Now we have completed all the parts of the brackets, and they're gone now, which means we can move to the next operation, which is add the 5. So 96 plus 5 equals 101. Okay, then we are going to look at the last 4 rules together, which are division and multiplication, and then addition and subtraction, which means we always need to do division and multiplication before we do any addition or subtraction. Look at this example that we had at the beginning of this video. To solve this problem, we need to follow the rule of the order of operations, which means that multiplication comes before addition. So we will do 4 times 5 equals 20, and then add the 3, which gives us 23, which is actually the correct answer to this problem. How about this question? Now, to look at the right order, we know that multiplication and division always have to be done before addition and subtraction, which means we need to do 14 divided by 2 first, which is 7. Then we complete the subtraction part, which is 31 take away 7 equals 24, and that's the right answer because we have followed the correct order of operations to solve this problem. Let's have a look at another example, which might be a bit tricky. So we have division and multiplication in this question, but how do I know which one to do first? In this case, you always go with the order from left to right, which means we first do 45 divided by 5, which is 9, and then 9 times 3, which is 27, because if we do any other order, we'll get a different answer, which might not be correct. Remember, we always go with the order from left to right in the question, and the same rule applies if we have addition and subtraction in the same question. We always go from left to right. And that's the end of today's video. Thank you for watching, and if you have liked this video or if you've learned something new, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel to support us. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.